Is that even a word?
Hey,
Rewatchability.
we'll write it down in the Sanding Dictionary. Yeah,
Alright.
the Sandy Dictionary. Hello, guys. Welcome to episode 1 of Comic Sans. It's our first episode, but before we do anything, here's a short story.
Gerard Butler's love. Gerard Butler's life. I pray to him every night, thanking him for the phantom he gave us. Butler's love, I say. Butler's life. Ramin hears me and calls me a scrub. I knew he just disliked my devotion to Butler. I called him a dinkleberry. He hits me and sends me to my dungeon. I cry, shedding many tears, until suddenly a cold air surrounds me. I turn around. It was Butler. I couldn't contain my excitement as he was donning the phantom mask. He creeps towards me and whispers in my ear, "I am your angel of music." He turns me around and opens my mind. I am ready. I spread my lips wide open as his music flourishes out of me. It hurts my vocal cords, but I'll do anything for Butler. I can feel my vocal cords stretching as my eyes start to water. I sing against his force. I wanted to please Butler. He roars a mighty "Sing for me!" as he fills me with the song. Ramin walks in and sees Butler. Butler looks him straight in the eyes and says, "It's over now, the music of the night." He waves his cape and disappears into the darkness. Butler's love. Butler's life.
And that was Butler is Love, Butler's Life, written by our very own Adrian and Satchet. So, yeah. Anyway, welcome to the first episode of Comic Sans. And the purpose of this little podcast that we're going to be doing is just complete and utter randomness. Yeah, the subjects could vary from whatever pops up in our mind. And so, yeah, hopefully you'll be able to subscribe and join to us if this is whatever it is. But yeah, just follow us along and yeah. Anywho, let's get started.
And just before we go any further, I want to apologize for my extremely long absence. I've been pretty lazy. School's got in the way and other assorted issues, but I think this will be a nice way to transition back into things. Toku Talks may or may not come back. We're not sure yet. And you may expect to see some new things in the future. I don't know. Depends on our schedule.
Definitely, it's been an issue because we're now in 2 different cities, so it's a little bit hard to get connected. So, I mean, this hopefully will be able to happen a lot frequently, so we'll be able to produce.
It's a lot easier for us to record stuff like this, and I hope you guys enjoy the road ahead.
All right, so I guess we can get started. We'll give our introductions to ourselves. If you want, Sachi, you can go ahead.
All right. If you're wondering what Comic Sans even stands for or what it means, it's a little mnemonic per se. What Adrian made up the other day. It's Sans. It stands for S for my name Satchet, and then A for Adrian, and the N and the S are our last names.
Yeah, we're not gonna release any more info, but that's as far as we will go.
It's a little punny thing if you want to think about it like that. Anywho, on to my introduction. So I'm Satchet. As you know me, I am a YouTuber, kind of. I made videos for the past 4 years. Recently hit the 4-year mark about 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, September. And yeah, I'm not that interesting of a person really, but I'm into I play the violin, of course. I play League of Legends a lot. A bit of a reason why videos have not been a thing, but that's one thing. I've known Adrian for a pretty long time, about 2+ years. Not a whole long time, but I consider ourselves to be pretty good friends. So it's not much about me, but I know for a fact Adrian's a much more interesting person. So Adrian, your turn.
All right. Thanks for passing the mic to me, even though you didn't give me a mic. Anywho, hello guys. My name is Adrian. I am not a YouTuber. besides the internet, I play like water polo on my spare times, and I really don't really do.
Oh, no big deal. You're on your varsity water polo team for the past 2 years, so no big
Nobody
deal.
needs to know, but yeah, but like I mean, besides water polo, most of the time the rest of the things I do is like socializing or just chilling around with friends and family. So I'm just kind of a pretty much laid back kind of person. Um, and yeah, that's really about it for me. I'm not too much special with compared to Sachet over here. I mean, both of us do like tokusatsu and musicals and other random things, but besides that, yeah,
And random videos such as War in the World is
yeah, and
Satchet.
Sachet Rider
And-
too. Oh, oh,
Never! Whoa. That's
Yeah.
taboo. You mean just a regular Satchet writer. Which, ironically enough, got the audio got muted for copyright a year later. Not only that, it reached 1,000 views
Yeah.
then. So it was a bit of a bittersweet victory.
Hey, nice job, guys. We're gonna mute your video now. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, if you're wondering what the whole purpose of the beginning thing about the Butler's Love, Butler's Life, it's because we were on a Skype call the other day after a long time, and I randomly sung a song from Love Never Dies, and Adrian pretty much fanboyed and was like, "Whoa, you watch it?" And like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan of it. I haven't watched Love Never Dies, but I see Phantom of the Opera." And we kind of spiraled into the whole Butler's Love, Butler's Life because of how angry Adrian was when I told him
Yeah.
my first experience with Phantom of the Opera was the Gerard Butler version, which by all means, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the movie upon seeing other iterations of Phantom of the Opera, but I mean, if you're wondering, on a side note, it's a good intro to the whole series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, compared to Sachet over here with his Gerard Butler movie, I started off with the 25th anniversary, surprisingly. I was looking around YouTube and I figured that out. And yeah, because I wanted to tease him, we made a fandom called Butler's Love, Butler's Life. And yeah, that's pretty much it with that kind of story. It was really weird, and we decided might as well share it to kick off this series because there's a lot more where that came from. So yeah, that's about it for that. What do you think about?
While we're on the topic of
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, today's episode was supposed to be about it, but we kind of fell into tangents elsewhere. So we're probably just gonna spend the next couple of minutes talking about our interests in it and why we like
Yeah.
it, all that fun stuff. So Adrian, why don't you
All
take
right.
it away?
Well, for me, I kind of expanded my musical palette like just pretty recently. I think about this year, and that was like my second musical that I kind of got into. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I really love Phantom of the Opera for its kind of like rock. It's considered like a rock opera, I believe. I'm not sure.
I think the Andrew Lloyd Webber, at least from what I've seen in comments and whatnot, his intention was to make like an operatic piece, but ties with an '80s style rock.
Because like I can tell it's definitely meant to be a musical, but they do have opera and rock aspects inside the songs, and
which interestingly puts it together quite nicely
definitely.
into a very compelling and compassionate musical that is loved by many across the world.
Yeah, like I definitely love it for its songs. I find like Music of the Night and All I Ask of You is like really nice songs, and I do love the composition. It's amazing how like just everything goes together with it, and it fits each piece and each part of the musical well. And I like that about Phantom of the Opera. It kept the tone when it and changed it when they needed to, and the music was definitely fitting and didn't seem out of place whatsoever. So I mean, it's a great musical to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Although my favorite songs in the musical are probably the overture. Dun 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 dun.
It's a great kickoff to like the beginning of it. Like, hey, this is not your regular musical or opera, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect these two things in one musical. And my second favorite is probably The Point of No Return.
Yeah.
I always found it odd, like something weird about it. The mood and the tone of it is meant to be very mysterious,
Yeah.
especially when the Phantom tries to seduces Christine for the point of no return. One line of it is, one lyric is, our games of make believe are no more, something like that. And it really does. It shows how everything before him, between the Phantom, Christine, and I was just all like, "Oh, that's just the beginning. This really is the serious moment where everything just either goes, like, you go in or you go home."
Definitely. I think after reading like a couple interviews or something like that, it was Phantom of the Opera was during, or Christine during in the musical is like I think around becoming like a full adult or something like that, like in her 20, like,
yeah, the symbolism
like
behind her, the character development.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just a symbolism of like of a child becoming an adult. Like all her life, she's been pampered and cared for by this opera house where she gotten so many opportunities, especially in this point of her life where she gets to perform
and get the main role.
Feel all these different emotions, and this is a point where everything just like culminates in her life to this moment.
I mean, definitely, I like this musical. Like,
especially just to want to add one more thing, especially with the whole triangle between her childhood lover Raoul, the Phantom, and her.
I mean, I used to like Les Miserables a lot, to be honest. Like, I used to listen to it all the time, but then once I found Phantom of the Opera, I actually like that more than Les Miserables, to be honest. I think the songs are more relatable because, Les Miserables is set in French Revolution kind of period, and the songs fit with that.
Phantom of the Opera is also set in
but
France.
then the songs aren't always like aren't talking about the revolution and stuff, right? It's very like broad with how like the themes are in the songs. I like it. I like Phantom. Really, it's pretty good.
I haven't seen Les Miserables, but from what I understand, it's like a lot of the songs. Quote me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the songs may seem kind of dark. I mean, granted, Phantom of the Opera also is, but at least Phantom of the Opera has that invigorating.
They have a lot more lighthearted tones with Phantom, but Les Miserables is definitely one that's like a little bit grieving, a little bit more, a lot of more sad tones because it's in a dark period, where it is.
Yeah, French Revolution. If you study it, pretty gruesome. A lot of blood.
Yeah, not the gangster. Yeah, definitely give Phantom of the Opera a good listen. I'd recommend it. How about you, Satchet? Would you recommend it?
Yeah, of course. If you're entirely new to musicals like I was, and my music teacher was like, "Hey, Phantom of the Opera, here it is. This one's a lot more." He said that this version with Gerard Butler, even though like it's not liked by many people, a lot of people agree that it is a good entry point into the whole fandom and series, or not really series, but the whole musical in general.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because a lot of the other music, like the other stuff that you find in theater, the other versions of Phantom, they're a lot more subtle. A lot of the tones, the symbolism, the story, you don't really understand the whole premise of it the first time, and the Gerard Butler version kind of lays it all out in your face. You can understand it after a few times, and then you can start watching the other versions in the theater.
That's what I noticed a lot too. Like, I noticed, hey, this is explained more or something like that, or they detail it just to make sure it's consistent like a movie rather than a musical. So I can see where you're going with, or what he meant when he was giving you that movie recommendation stuff.
Not to mention, I watched it twice. Like the first time, you don't even understand what they're saying, but then the second time, once you actually understand the lyrics, it's a lot more powerful.
Definitely. That's why it's good to like listen to it more than once with this musical. It's pretty good.
It definitely has rewatchability value. Is that even a word? Rewatchability.
Hey, we'll write it down in the Sanding Dictionary.
Yeah. All right.
The Sandy Dictionary.
The Sans Dictionary. The Sans Dictionary, all written in Comic Sans.
We can definitely, just Sans Dictionary. Put it down on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's all. I think we exhausted our
Audience just
knowledge for fandom today for this topic of this first ever podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. It definitely is a new take on things for this channel. Expect to see more. We're going to try to do this weekly. We try not to make false promises.
Yeah, we're gonna not put any deadline for these. We're just gonna give them if we can, and we're gonna try our best to put it frequently. But we're not gonna say like, hey, we're gonna do this next week, like what we did with like some other of our projects and stuff. So I mean, yeah, and oh, by the way, give us recommendations on topics that you want us to talk about. You know,
because we're not very broad on everything. We'll try to familiarize ourselves with it, give our thoughts and such.
Anything. And if you wanna like recommend people, special guesting or whatever, let us know too. That'd be pretty fun. Have people on the show, inviting them over and say, hey, this is Comic Sans with so and so. So yeah, that'd be great.
Spread the word. Like us on Facebook. We actually have a Facebook page now, courtesy of Adrian.
The cover photo sucks.
We're working on it.
It's a rough page, but if you give it a like, definitely we'll see some notes and stuff.
Pokecauses HD is back. Kind of.
Praise Shrek.
But on that note, I bid you all farewell for now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys. This is Adrian, and I guess I'll be logging off. So see you guys.
See you. Ciao.
Bye-bye.